It was mid-February 2025 when Alex Harper, a 29-year-old podcast host with a growing following, decided to record an episode inside Eastern State Penitentiary. The abandoned prison, shuttered since 1971, was a hulking ruin of stone and iron, its cell blocks radiating like spokes from a central hub. Alex had read about its past, solitary confinement, madness and deaths, and the ghost stories, shadowy figures, disembodied cries, a locksmith's tale of faces in Cellblock 4. He pitched it to his co-host Priya, a 31-year-old skeptic and sound engineer, as a live special for their show, Unseen Echoes. She agreed, reluctantly, packing her gear with a muttered, "If I hear one ghost, I'm out." They arrived on February 15th, a Saturday night, under a sky heavy with sleet. The air was bitter, the penitentiary's walls slick with ice, its arched windows dark and gaping. A night guard, a grizzled man named Carl with a limp, let them in after hours for a fee, his flashlight jittering as he warned, "Don't wander too far. Things move in here." Alex grinned, setting up mics in Cellblock 4, a narrow, vaulted corridor of rusted bars and peeling paint. Priya adjusted her headphones, the faint hum of static crackling through. The first hour was quiet, save for the drip of water somewhere deep in the block and the occasional groan of settling metal. Alex narrated the prison's history, Al Capone's stay, the torture devices, his voice steady, though the cold seeped into his bones. Priya rolled her eyes, tweaking levels, until a sharp, metallic clang echoed from the far end of the corridor. She froze, pulling off her headphones. "That wasn't me." Alex aimed his flashlight, the beam trembling slightly. The clang repeated, slower, deliberate, like a hammer striking iron. They crept toward the sound, past cells with sagging cots and graffiti-scarred walls. The air grew thicker, smelling of rust and something sour, like unwashed skin. In cell 14, the source emerged, a heavy padlock swinging on its bar, unlatched, though no one had touched it. Priya's breath hitched. "Wind," she offered, but the stillness mocked her. Alex started recording again, his voice quieter now. "Listeners, we're hearing something." The clang stopped, replaced by a whisper, low, guttural, threading through the static in Priya's headphones. She yanked them off, eyes wide. It said my name. Alex laughed nervously, but the whisper grew, splitting into voices, dozens, overlapping. "Priya, stay. Cold." The mics picked it up, unplugged yet buzzing, the sound slithering up their spines. The temperature plummeted, their breaths clouding in the flashlight's glow. Alex swung the beam around, catching a flicker. A tall, emaciated figure at the corridor's end, its head lolling, arms dangling like broken branches. It didn't move, just watched, its silhouette black against the faint moonlight. Priya grabbed his arm. "We're done." But as they turned, the cell doors along the block rattled, a cacophony of screeching metal, as if every inmate were clawing to escape. The figure vanished, only to reappear closer. Inside cell 12, its face pressed to the bars, eyeless sockets glistening wet. Panic took hold. They ran, equipment clattering, the whispers chasing them. "You hear us. You stay," blending with footsteps that weren't theirs. At the central hub, Carl was gone, the exit gate locked. Priya's recorder, still rolling, caught a new sound, a scream, raw and human, erupting from Cellblock 4. Alex pounded the gate, shouting, until it swung open with a groan, dumping them into the sleet-soaked yard. They didn't stop until they reached Alex's car, the penitentiary a grey blur behind them. At home, Priya scrubbed the audio, her hands shaking. Over the whispers, a man's voice cut through clear as glass. "You brought us out." The next morning, February 16th, Alex woke to find his apartment door ajar, the floor dusted with rust flakes. Priya called, voice hoarse. "Check your mic." Its casing was scratched, etched with a single word. "Stay." They haven't recorded since.